Coming up, do you start peppers indoors? I'll show you how we do ours, and it may help you with your seed starting technique.
If you're new to our channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. I'm Joy Barrett. Today we're going to start peppers indoors. Now you want to start peppers about 10 to 12 weeks before your last average frost date. Now this is a guideline. This doesn't mean 12 weeks from now the day happens and you can plant them in the ground the next day. That's not what that represents. It's a guideline. You want to plant peppers in the ground when the soil temperature is at least 60 degrees at root zone, 55 to 60 degrees on the low end. At root zone, you want to, that's 2 or 3 inches below grade. These are a tropical plant, and you want to transition them out accordingly at the right time of the season. We plant ours typically right around the same time we put tomatoes in the ground, but we sometimes will wait a week to make sure we get as much heat in the soil as possible. There's ways of increasing that soil heat. So what we have here, we've got 11 different varieties of peppers. This here particular variety is an orange bell pepper. And you can start pepper seeds in a variety of different devices. What you can use is just a party cup. You could put one pepper seed in a cup. I would recommend never planting just one seed per cell or device because there's not a guarantee that it will come up. There's no seed company that can provide you 100% guaranteed all the time seed germination. So at least 2, preferably 3, and then you can remove and replant or get rid of the 2 that you're not interested in. Now that's one way to do it. What you could also do is fill this with potting soil and then plant 10 or 15 pepper seeds of one variety in here, and then you can wean them out as they get 2 or 3 inches tall, so you can minimize the space of that you're using early on. What we're going to use here is the 32 cell root maker tray, and we've got a 10 by 20 tray at the bottom here to bottom water. Now what you can do with this, these are available at rootmaker.com. You can use coupon code TWVG at checkout and get 10% off your entire order. We're using an all-purpose potting mix. It has a slow release fertilizer in it, and you just do not want to just fill this up and go, okay, I'll plant my seeds. These have air pockets. You can see how much compression, how much space is going in these cells here, that the soil is not fully pressed in. Now you don't want it completely rock hard, but you want to have a good density because those air pockets, as those roots develop, they will find those air pockets and then not develop any further. The advantage of using a root maker tray, you can see that there's a lot of different holes that will naturally air prune the roots of whatever plant you're growing. Now this is a 32, there's 64, and there's 18 size cell trays as well. More vigorous root system is a more happier, healthier plant as you transition it outside. So an easy way to do this is take a like tray and press very firmly, and because of the rigidness of the root maker tray, you're not going to compress it like you would a cheap tray that you would get at the garden center. So then that'll put it right there. Everything looks good. Now, what I could do is plant 1 per cell, but we talked about the reasons why you do not want to do that because of the lack or the non-guarantee of 100% germination. So what I am going to do is take 32 cells here. I'm going to plant 2 peppers in each cell, and maybe there's a variety like the orange bell here. I may do multiple cells of that variety and maybe put 3 or 4. Then in about 4 weeks, once they emerge and I see the stand of peppers, then I can take my secondary 32 cell tray and transition these over so I have 1 cell or 1 plant per cell, and then they can live in that environment until it's time to go out. Now if you're using a peat pellet form of starting the seeds, that works fine, but you're going to have to supplement a fertilizer in those peat pellets because there's no nutrient value. Once the seed coating is used up, that's when your plants begin to look sick and piddly after about 3 weeks. Then you're going to have to supplement it with a liquid fertilizer or compost tea of some nature. So we want to mark these. There we go. I'm just using old window blinds, and if you save your window blinds from year to year, you don't have to write on them each year. So how we'll do this is we'll just do, for the orange bell, I'm just going to do 2 per cell, all 4 cells, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8 plants there. And the rule of thumb that I would suggest if you're starting your seeds indoors, plant 2 times to 3 times more plants than what you think you will need, because you can always get rid of them. You just can't magically make 3 more appear at the time of planting unless you go to the garden center and have to buy some. And if you are planting hot peppers and mild peppers, you do want to mark these because they all look the same up to the time of harvest, or up to the time of planting, and then plants like Hungarian sweet and hot are identical until you bite into them. So all we'll do here is, with these seeds, we want to go about 1/4 inch in the soil. So you can use your finger, and that's what I'm going to do. With 2 peppers, you want to do opposite sides so you can remove them, remove the one that you want easier. If you put them both in the center, then you're going to fight with them a little bit. And that's just how easy it is. About 1/4 inch. Now if you get deeper, it's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. Because this is loose soil, they're going to be able to germinate just fine without any issue. Now these will take about 14 days to germinate. So if you're in an unclimatized greenhouse or basement or garage with grow lights, you will need to supplement some type of bottom heat to these peppers. And that really goes for any seeds in which you're starting, because you do need some warmth for the germination. And you can use a heat mat that you can get from your independent garden center that has a thermostat that you can set forth that temperature in which you're desiring in order to warm the soil. If you're in your normal home, most homes are 68, 72 degrees, you're going to be fine. We'll go down after I get the rest of these planted. We'll take a look at our setup, and we've had very good success with using just the ambient heat in our home. So we plant the pepper seeds. I'll get the rest of these planted, then we'll head down to the grow light system to show you how we have that set up. So we are underneath our table here in the corner of the room next to the radiator, which gives ambient heat to the pepper plants and other seedlings that we have planted here. Now we've got the Happy Leaf LED 17-inch model here. It's on just so you can see, but it does not have to be turned on until we see the seedlings emerging from the soil. We want to bottom water, or the watering procedure in which we follow is bottom water. We just don't want to cascade the water on top of the soil and then blow the seeds out, or throw soil on the seeds as they are germinating. So what we will do is we'll just take and fill the bottom tray here with however much water, an inch worth of water, and then we will allow it to wick up, and then over the course of the next hour or so, if it has wicked up, then we will water more until we see the moisture developing on the top of the container, or the tray here. Now another way in which you can help reduce the amount of moisture evaporating from the soil is, if you have a dry house, you're going to have to water more frequently. You can also take a damp paper towel and cover this, and then that will act as a mulch essentially, and reduce the amount of wicking into the air that water will do, and your soil will dry out much slower. So we've got the 16-inch or the 17-inch Happy Leaf LED light here. Notice the distance between the seed tray and the light. That is the way it will be until we take these seeds outside. Because of the intense lighting, the strength of the light, the LEDs, and the light wavelengths, we do not have to raise or lower the light according to the seedlings. We can set it in one spot, set it and forget it. It works great. There's no legginess that occurs because of the spectrum of light and the footprint and the intensity. So that's how we start our pepper seeds. There's many different ways in which you can start your pepper seeds. We've done this particular method for a number of years and found great success for the peppers, starting them indoors and then transitioning them out to the garden. Thanks for joining me. I'm Joey Barrett. Join me next time for more seed starting and gardening tips. You've watched the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.